What is up? What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm so glad to be here. I hope you guys are glad to be here as well. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. I am your host, Matthew McKim. As you guys get in and get settled, please do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe. Please. It's all I ask. It's all I ask. Boop. It's how you can help the channel. I'm going to try not to cough into the mic. I got some throat lozenges in. Some kiddos at the clinic be coughing and sneezing today. So maybe I'll do the cough button and save you from it. There's going to be enough struggles for those of you that have misophonia like me in the Erika Kirk video. I don't know what it is, man. She has the driest mouth in the world, and they have her mic turned up so much it needs to stop. So like one of the things I do to cut down on it, and it's why like I have to be so close to the mic, because if I turn it up louder, yeah, then I can have like the mic further away and, you know, don't have to speak right into it. But then you pick up every little thing, and it drives me nuts. And my heart goes out for those of you that don't like ASMR and are misophonia, strugglers like me. Of course, I rush to eat. And when you rush to eat, you got to clear your throat a lot. So anyway, happy to be here. Hope you guys are happy to be here too. Tick, 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 tick. I don't know what that means, but all right. I don't know if you guys know, hopefully you guys saw the thumbnail. Erika Kirk has graced us with her presence once again. And it's interesting. It gets really interesting at about a certain mark. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at Jimmy Dore on the Charlie Kirk show. Jimmy Dore on the Tucker Carlson show talking about Charlie Kirk. We're going to look at maybe look at an Andrew Tate thing. I'll gauge how you guys are feeling at that time. He says a lot of F-bombs, but he's talking about Charlie Kirk and he's not cussing at Charlie Kirk. It's just Andrew Tate. He just cusses, F is like, to him. So sorry. Yeah, like as I say, he says the F word. So, I'll gauge how you guys are doing and see, but the information that he states like is important. He talks about why he thinks they took Charlie Kirk out and why they didn't try to take a different mode, a different route with him. Like, why didn't they just try to cancel him? Why didn't they just try to bankrupt him? These other tactics that those in power do all the time. And it is interesting. Okay. But I also understand that there's a lot of individuals here that watch on their TV or while they're cooking and kids and stuff. So I don't want to do that if there's too many of that going on, but I'll gauge that when we get there. Okay. And then Crystal Smallin, who's a community member here, and she's got a big following on X. If you don't know that, go over there, give her a follow. Is it called a follow? Yeah, I think it's called a follow on X. Here it's called a subscribe. On X, it's called a follow. But she found some interesting things on videos of a Black and Neff that we're going to look at because it's so interesting. And we're just going to look at it together and be like, and I was talking about this with Mystic today. I was like, I don't know that Charlie Kirk ever actually said that Blake Neff is Charlie's secret weapon and TPUSA's secret weapon, and that like he is one of the smartest people Charlie Kirk knew. You'll see what I mean when we get to the video. Not the smartest cookie, not the sharpest tool. Nope. Not my go-to person. Nope. He is. You ever seen that movie, The Benchwarmers? Okay. Cute movie, cute kids. Okay. That's Blake. Okay. Incel for sure. Involuntary. All right. Let's get into it. Here we go. Erika Kirk at the Young Women's Leadership Summit 2026. Keep in mind, the last time Erika Kirk was on this stage, this exact event, she was there with Charlie. I don't know, for me, if I did some sort of event with my wife and I didn't know it was the last time I would ever do that event with her at the time. And then later that year, my wife dies. Horribly, right? Like with Charlie. And then I go to that event again, just 10 months later. That whole day would be so difficult because you got to know from the beginning of the day, from the beginning of that day back in 2025, they were together. Okay. They got ready together. They traveled to the same event together. They walked out on the stage together. They were on the stage the whole time together. And we looked at that event. Okay. We've broken that video down. And then you got to know they left together and they either stayed in a hotel or they went home, depending on where it was. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head what city it was in. Okay. But for Erika Kirk to walk out on this stage, to do the whole day, to get out of bed and remember that this exact day last year, Charlie was with her and she was doing all of these things with Charlie, would make the whole day hard, very hard. Everything she does that day would remind her of that exact day the previous year. Excuse me. Even just riding in the car to the event by herself, looking over at the empty seat would remind her that last year Charlie was in that seat. And yet you don't get that impression. Not one bit. Much like what Julian Dory and Alassi Alaman, or sorry if I messed up your name, my man, was saying yesterday, everything about Erika Kirk is off. None of us know to what degree she is involved, culpable, an accomplice before, during, or after the fact. What we do know, what we can say for a fact is nothing she's ever done from the moment Charlie was assassinated was normal. The whole BS story that everyone grieves differently, okay, a little bit, but we're all human and we all grieve roughly if we're sane. So that's the other outlier there, right? Like, keep in mind that phrase came along from people that probably aren't normal and that didn't really grieve the loss of their partner the right way, but like a normal, well-rounded and a grounded individual with a stable mind, with a heart and empathy and compassion, we're going to grieve pretty similarly if you actually loved your partner, right? And if you have healthy habits, if you're not going to go out and just drink the bottle away or take pills or use drugs or go try to hook up with people to make it disappear. That's an unhealthy way to try to cope with this. And I'm not saying she did that. What I'm saying is that, like, the whole saying that everyone copes or deals with grief differently. Yeah. Within a range, but for the most part, we pretty much grieve the same with a little bit of variability. But she hasn't grieved one time like a normal human being that just lost their partner to a horrible, tragic event like a suicide. Like an assassination. Whoa. I don't know where that came from. All right. But point being, this is just one more data point for us all to look at and watch her behavior, right? Like, so these things on the board, you don't have to have those. We're all human. Okay. All of us are really good at reading behavior. Okay. Maybe I have a little bit of an edge, not much. Okay. But most of us can look at behavior and be like, looks like they're being dishonest. Looks like they're hiding something. Looks like they're guilty. Looks like she's not sad at all. What's going on, right? So most of us, and they wanted to, the other side wanted to shame us to stop, right? To guilt trip us and gaslight us, to get us to stop noticing reality for reality. So buckle up, get ready. Here we freaking go. And just so you guys know, it's a 17-minute clip. We're going to watch the whole thing. All right. But I want to preface a few things. Please get your super chats in as we go. I'll get to them as we go. Because if you guys say something or ask a question about something that's happening, whether that be on this video or the Jimmy Dore, Tucker Carlson, or Andrew Tate, I want to get to it in context. Okay. So here we go. We got AI Charlie said, wait. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. Yeah. Oh, you mean, okay, the AI Charlie that Pastor Graham played, right? Not the one that TPUSA played at AmFest, right? Is that what you mean? Always be true, right? The AI clip that Pastor Graham in Dallas played, right? Don't mourn me. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. Keep in mind, that might have been, that was directed at the public, maybe, not at his wife. I don't think, I mean, should never have been created in the first place. Totally blasphemous, totally morbid, totally inappropriate. Knock it the heck off. But nonetheless, he was playing it to the public, right? And I'm not excusing it. What I'm saying is that in that context, it was trying to tell the public not to mourn for him, which is stupid enough as it is. Like, we're all allowed to mourn someone that meant something to us and that held a certain specific special place in our heart and our minds and in our culture and in our country. But I agree. It's like she knew that clip and she took it to heart. She's like, but he said, don't mourn me for a second. So I'm not going to mourn you for a second. That'd be Erika Kirk. Oh, this was the other thing I was going to say. Sorry. I have daughters. I have a wife. Newsflash. It breaks my heart, for real, to think that all of these young women there haven't snapped out of this brainwash, this scam, this psyop, that these young Christian women that are probably good, probably a lot of them are really, really good, probably all of them, but they all are being so misled and lied to, and they don't even know it. And that is the saddest thing in my mind, is that I personally believe that Erika Kirk gets up on stage every time she gets in front of a camera and a mic. She knows she's deceiving people. She has to. She has to know it, because we're here listening and we know the truth on a lot of things, and it never comes out of her mouth. The truth doesn't come out of her mouth. It's distortion, deflection, misrepresentation of what Charlie said, what Charlie's legacy was, Trump, Iran, the country, what we should be doing, what we should be focusing on, what happened to Charlie, what happened to UVU, all of it. Every time she gets in front of a camera and behind a mic, she's knowingly lying. In my opinion, everything I'm saying in today's video is my opinion. It's not a statement of fact, but I do believe my opinion is based in reality. So take that for what it is. She gets up there knowingly misleading these young women, right? Knowing that a year ago today, literally a year ago today, she got up there with Charlie Kirk and said, young women, balance is a myth. Young married mothers. Balance is a myth. You can't do it. You can't have your career and be a young married Christian mother at the same time. You can't do it. And prescriptively, you shouldn't do it. That's what the left and the society and this ideology, liberalism, wants you to believe about yourself. And that's the pitfalls of feminism. And don't buy into it. You shouldn't do it. If you're a young married mother and wife and you can afford it, you should stay home and raise your kids and be at home, guard the home, raise them in Christ's message and the way of God, help raise the next intellectual, Christian, ethical, conservative citizens, proud to be Americans. And then when they graduate high school and they are leaving the nest, you will still be able to pursue your career. But forsake your child rearing years for your career, and it's going to be too little too late when that ship comes around and you're like, well, now I really want it. Now here she is a year later. Charlie's not there to echo that same sentiment. All we'd have to do is play it side by side, but I've done enough of that, so we can look at that some other time, but we've already been there and done that. We know what he said, and we know what she said. But here she is, acting as if she's never said that. Literally walking a contradictive lifestyle from what she was doing a year ago and tries to justify it and act like she's not a walking hypocrite, So, all right, here we go. Always be true. What's up with the women leadership theme? I mean, I don't mind, but doesn't align with stay home and raise your kids. Why was Charlie there anyway? Charlie was there because Erika can't really headline anything, ladies and gentlemen. Have you not seen? Have you not been watching? She's brutal. And honestly, even then, Charlie was what attracted everyone. Okay. And she would defer to him, even on stage at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, each, time when they were still together last year, the year before, when the young women would ask questions at the end. Sometimes she would answer, but most of the time she'd defer to him because he was smarter, wiser, more well-versed in scripture, and more articulate. She needed him. And that's clear every day she gets on stage by herself. It's just not the same. It misses the mark. All right, let's go.
It is so good to see you guys. My sweet Gigi doing her little mommy. She's very big with the microphone lately. She takes off of her dad.
So that's weird. Okay, you guys, there must have been a part that they didn't record. All right. And I guess Gigi did a voiceover, and I don't know if they played a video for only people present or if it was just the audio of Gigi like announcing Erika coming out on the stage. They didn't play it. This is the beginning of the video that we just saw. And so she's going to explain that like Gigi, you're going to hear. But so there's a part of this that we didn't get to see. And that's what she's talking about.
So she, with her daddy's little microphone, mini one that she has, she wanted to be able to do my intro. So why not? It's my little voiceover for my intro. So precious. But so much in my life, just like yours, has changed since I've last been up on this stage with my husband 1 year ago. Who was here last year with us? Who's first time ever coming to Turning Point USA conference? Wow. I love it. Hi, you guys. Hi. Today is really special for a multitude of reasons, but today marks 14 years, the day that my husband decided to start Turning Point USA. He saw what was on the horizon for the youth of this nation, and he knew that Turning Point USA would be the solution. And I am so grateful to God that he followed the calling that was on his heart rather than what the rest of the world probably would have expected a young 18-year-old male to do. He saw a generation drifting away from faith, away from a sense of purpose, and he wanted to cultivate a space for community, a space that was so needed, especially on college campuses. He was aspiring to win the culture war and to share with everyone the American traditional values that he so deeply cherished. And we will continue forward with that mission that my husband has entrusted to us. I'm so proud of him.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you guys think that they have carried on Charlie's mission that he entrusted to them? Do you think that they're doing what Charlie was doing while Charlie was alive? Yeah, me neither. It's all good.
So proud of him. My husband always believed in this event, the Women's Leadership Summit, because he could see young women being sold a vision of life that looked empowering on the surface, but left many of them increasingly dissatisfied underneath. He wanted to create a place for conservative women to connect with like-minded women and be poured into by female voices that would talk to them about the sanctity of life, about fiscal responsibility, about...
Hey, can you guys answer me this? Do you think these young women, maybe, I don't know, most of them don't seem married. They look pretty young in the audience. Do you think that they care about fiscal responsibility? That was an early, like, libertarian aspect of Turning Point. And yes, was something that Charlie for sure cared about. But like as Turning Point like turned more into this Christian, American first, MAGA kind of thing, like that was always like there, but mainly for like the political part of it, like fiscal responsibility in government. And yes, in homes, but like he taught that men should be running the household finances. And so, I don't know, I felt like that statement was so out of context that like she's telling these young women who, based on previous appearances, are to be the child bearers, right? The wives, spiritual, overseers of the children, while dad's away. Like obviously the father, the husband's the spiritual head of the household, but that the woman cares about fiscal responsibility. These young women, I don't think that was, I think that just missed the mark a bit.
Liberty and family. He wanted to create that for all of you. And for the first time, women that are here tonight, thank you for being a part of that special legacy that he started. Charlie would often say that feminism was about wanting women to become men and eventually not needing men. He watched feminism rear its head on college campuses in a way that was openly hostile to conservative women who were told to reject the very things that make womanhood unique. Things like motherhood is a burden, marriage is a trap, or motherhood is something that should be stalled or not even experienced at all in a woman's life. While also pushing the narrative that men are the enemy and that having no one in your...
Wait, do you guys remember from when she spoke with, what's the Huckabee's daughter's name? Something Huckabee, and what was it, Arkansas or whatever, where she was like, white male men. People made memes. They're like, male men? Wait, we need to protect male men? Who do we need to protect male men from? Yeah, white male men. That's what she's saying, but she didn't say this.
Life, is a strength. But we weren't created to be alone. Scripture reminds us that men and women were designed to depend on one another.
Okay, I am going to play it. I also can't play it too long without interrupting. It's a 17-minute video. It's just the way YouTube is. When I've done it that way before, it cuts the live stream. So please don't hate me for this, okay? But also, if something comes up that I really want to make a point on, I just got to do it, all right? This is just me being me. Hopefully you guys are here for it. Aren't supposed to be alone. Where are her kids? I'm not expecting her to remarry. In fact, I don't want her to remarry. I think she should be, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little torn because that means like, who is she going to choose? She's going to choose someone to then become the parents of Charlie Kirk's kids. Like, I don't know. I'm very torn on that. And as of right now, though, she should not be dating and not remarry. That's me personally. That's just a personal opinion. But she talks about like not meant to being alone. I know she means like, you know, man and woman, but also when I hear that, I'm thinking about all these appearances. You have to think of the time that it takes to get ready because her kids are under 5. Where are her kids when she's getting all dolled up, when she's traveling? She's being driven to this event or to the plane. She's flying if it's out of state. Maybe not this one. I don't know where this one is exactly, but in general, all the time that it takes to get ready to go to these events and then be at the event, all this time, where are the kids? No one had, and she'll say later about stuff about the kids. No one that I know. Do you guys know of anyone that's actually attacked the kids and said anything negative about the children? No. The only thing that I can think of that someone could misconstrue as negative about the children would be when we've questioned that photo, which turned out as AI, by the way. I can show you that later. But no one said anything negative about the children. We just want to know where they are.
Support one another, to build together. Okay. That is God's design for us. At its core, feminism is a worldview that treats many of the things that make women uniquely women as obstacles to overcome rather than divine gifts to embrace. This worldview results in a culture where womanhood is viewed as a competing force against manhood rather than something that is complementary. As women in today's world, we are blessed with far more choices than any other generation. Any other generation in history, we have far more choices. But why is that having all those choices is now leaving us with far less clarity about who we are and what we are created for?
I don't think we actually have more choices. I personally think we have illusion of choice. We have forced choices, right? Because so much of what is either fed to us, whether that be online or so much of our society, is dictated by, you know, whether that be social or cultural pressure, our inability to afford the things that we want, go the places that we want because we either can't afford it or maybe the city isn't even safe anymore. So many of the things that we used to do back when we were kids, we can't even do with our kids anymore. And I really do think so much of what is presented as we have all these choices, I think it's an illusion. And most of it is already our behavior is being affected, whether that be through advertisement or people that we watch online or so many other things as well. But I really don't think that we have more choices. I think our society is becoming more restrictive.
So truly, the question that's actually facing modern women today isn't so much a rhetorical question of, is this all there is? Is this all there is to life? It's actually a deeper, more thoughtful question. It's a moral and a spiritual one. What life's vision will you pursue? Freedom without responsibility is reckless. It endangers the very fabric of our society. And alternatively, when both men and women in society faithfully carry their responsibilities with integrity and honor, that's how societies flourish and how great civilizations are sustained. Each wave of feminism, and the judgment of culture analyzing women down to an ideology completely overcomplicates something so simple and beautiful as womanhood. If an ideology...
You guys, I just found something on X. Something just dropped right now. I don't know if it actually is or isn't, but let's look at it together. Supposedly the video of Charlie Kirk choosing Erika Kirk as the replacement for him supposedly just dropped on X. I just found it. So let's go there right here. Let me share. All right. And it's right here. It says Turning Point and Miss Erika Kirk released the secret footage of Charlie Kirk choosing her to succeed him to kick off their annual women's summit.
USA if something happens to me.
What? Hold on. Let's play from the beginning. Hold on. Can you guys see it? All right. All right. Let's do this. And this is from last year. All right. That's the get up from last year. Women's Leadership Summit.
The most important relationship in your life is the one that you have with your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
His passion was my passion, and now his mission is my mission.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
That's interesting. That's old. That is a very old clip. This is a very old clip of Charlie. Hold on. I want to see his left hand. I need to see him raise his left hand when he points at the audience. Okay, he's wearing his gold signet ring. That kind of gives you a time frame, so it's not as old, but where is... I'm looking at building the what? Building the... What does it say underneath? Building the... Oh, I can't see what that says.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
Okay, just so you guys know, that is, I think, grossly taken out of context. I'm almost positive I can remember that. It's not serious. He's like saying it in jest. We definitely have to find that. Building the machine. Crystal, can you do, maybe not now, that's fine. But we all need to find that event and find that clip if it exists at all. If they haven't already pulled it, if they haven't already edited that part out, and or if it doesn't exist at all, you know. I'm going to make a video of myself as Erika Kirk saying the same thing. Okay. But like I said, I think I remember exactly where that was and when that was. And I'm almost positive they didn't share the context. The before and the after are more important than that statement. It's going to tell you, did he mean that in like, did he genuinely mean that? Like, were they talking about Charlie dying or something happening to him and he was being serious about it? That's not what I remember from the event. And even if you just look at his face, did you guys get a look at it? C-SPAN got rid of it, but there's a clip of a video. Yeah. I'm almost positive that Charlie is saying it in response to something, and it's kind of like, it's in jest. It's like a joke. Look at his face. Let's look at it one more time. We'll just jump to that part. Right here.
Mission.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me.
Do you see him smiling? He's like grinning. Okay. He is. It's not serious.
Erika would do a great job.
It's not serious. He's not saying that seriously. And that's just par for the course that they're grossly showing such a small clip of Charlie out of context. Yeah. Thank you, Delaney. Yeah, they said that it says building the machine. After tonight's show, I'll go and find, try to find, but given TPUSA's track record, They probably took it down. Okay. It's probably not up there. If it's on it should be on their website. I mean, it should be on the Charlie Kirk show or on Turning Point's YouTube channel. They uploaded all their stuff too. Charlie always did, but then after his assassination, they took a bunch of stuff down. So, but we'll look into it. But I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Delaney. I saw that you're on it. I'm pretty sure, like nearly positive, it's so out of context. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Technology leaves people lonelier, resentful, confused, and weaker than before, then perhaps it is time to question whether that ideology is actually serving the people it's claiming to empower. As women, we are made for obligations that are greater than ourselves. It's in our DNA. I feel it every day. I know that you guys do too. And that's why it's nearly impossible.
I don't know. Okay.
Nearly impossible to find satisfaction in this world when you are relentlessly focused on what you can get versus what you can contribute. Therefore, I encourage you this weekend, whenever you have a moment, take pen to paper, don't write it on your phone, and really pray about this. Write down what your virtues are. Write them down. Maybe it's the love of truth. Maybe it's humility. Maybe it's honesty, fidelity, courage. Maybe it's self-sacrifice. But write them down. And whatever they are, invest in them. Uphold them. Fortify them. Have those virtues be the lens that you love your spouse through.
Can I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, a question? What do we got? Renita, what up, Renita? In the video, she says the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one that you will have with your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In the video I'm playing right now, did I miss that? Did it already happen, or is it coming up? Or is that in the other video that we were listening to? Sorry, I'm doing too much if I missed that. Yeah, that's very interesting. That was the joke of the Lord Farquaad thing is she doesn't say Jesus a lot. She does, but not often. Sometimes she'll just say Lord, the Lord, which is common. It's not totally uncommon. But usually people say our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I've never heard someone say your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If you're a Christian, it'd be our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ would be the right way to say that. Yeah. Let's see. Always. Okay. It took them 60 plus days. Candace Owens count to find that video. So they're pretending it's the Aspen Donors event in 2025. It's easy to check. No, it's not though. The machine that's not what that's from. That's not what that's from. Nope. All you have to do is look at Charlie's face as well. All you have to do is look at his face. He went through different stages of like health and physical fitness over the years. That I'm pretty sure that's like 22, 23. Yeah, I would say maybe 22 or 23. I really, just off the top of my head, it's not the Aspen retreat. Yeah, I'm going to say no. And yeah, but also remember, they said it happened at Aspen, but then Crystal Smolin pointed out too, when they did that exclusive at the Daily Mail, they used a video from Korea and said, this is a still photo from the video that we're going to give Daily Mail an exclusive to view. And Crystal and others easily fact check that because he's wearing a tan shirt. He's walking around. There's a freaking monument behind him that he walks over to. It kind of is like metadata without metadata. Like it's like that statue exists only there. And Korea is not in Aspen, Colorado. All right. Just thought I'd point that out.
That you're a mother by, that you sow into your community and you steward your family's legacy. Those virtues are so important.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
And when
All right.
you
That's what I was going to say. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Is it? Oh my gosh, I have to sneeze. Hold on. Elephant, light, elephant, pineapple. All right, it's gone. There it is. It's gone. Ugh. Is it too much to ask that if someone gets on stage and presents themselves as some sort of role model, as some sort of person for people to look up to, and that she's going to get on stage and tell young women about virtues, and then she lists a number of them? Is it too much to ask that the person that does that at least has one of those virtues as their own, and that it's clearly evident just through observation that she actually has those virtues? Because Erika Kirk didn't have any and doesn't have any of the virtues that she just listed. Not one. Not from my perspective. Not from my point of view. No. And yet she gets up there and acts like she's someone to be telling others about virtues.
set out to pursue God's vision for your life, know that He will show up. He will provide, and He will honor your obedience to His calling. The world has a tendency to overcomplicate the most beautiful.
Hey, sorry. This is a community. So those of you that are new, what's different about this is that, yeah, this is a community. So I'm gonna put this up here because Tiffany Green, I agree with you. I do, right? And that's why I prefaced what I said was, what do you mean? I didn't. Okay, I'll have to come back to that in a second. You have to be you have to be with a really good guy to be able to sacrifice your career fully, because it didn't work out for me and I regret it. Yeah. Yep. We broke up. I've only worked part-time because my daughter needs me 100%. Right. So, couple things, right? For one, the man that you marry would have to make enough, number one, all right, in order to provide well for the family. Okay. Number two, he would have to be such a good man that you would know that he would never cheat on you, lie, hurt you, give you any cause for divorce. Because in the event that happens, you forsook your career and maybe finishing your degree, and now he's gone. And now what do you do in your 30s, 40s, 50s? Yes, you could go back to school. That's a lot to ask for someone in that stage. But I'll just be all honest with you guys. So when my wife and I were dating, we both were in college, like at the same part. We started, I maybe had some prerequisites already. Yeah, I think I did. But we got married our second year. We were very young, and we got pregnant 4 weeks after we were married with twins. Okay. She finished that semester, but then after that, she was very big. She had twins. She's a little lady. And then we didn't want to, it was super hard. I had to work 2-3 jobs while going to college. I'm not kidding. I did like industrial style roofing on warehouses from like midnight to like 5 a.m., come home, shower, go to school. Then I'd wait tables at night, come home and do it all over again. Okay. And I also like served in churches and worked in, local churches or at a houseplant church we were a part of. But she did have to trust me that I would never, abuse her, cheat on her, lie to her, hurt her, leave her. And that that I would always protect her and care for her. And I realized that it's hard to find guys like that, and I'm not saying I'm one and only, like I know there's many others, but I know that it is hard to find them, and I get that that's a huge, huge ask for women, so I do understand that.
Beautiful and simple things in this world. But to the women in this room who are Christian, it's actually quite simple.
Sorry, so much is happening tonight. I apologize for those of you that maybe joined the show for the first time tonight and think like, we don't normally pause this much. We do, but not this much. But hold on, Delaney. Yeah, you're right. So here we go. Delaney, Building the Machine for Victory, July 21st, 2023. I said it was 22-23. I know my Charlie. Okay. Like I said, you can kind of tell at what stage of life he was at based on like his physique at the time and his hair and his face and all of that. Also, I knew it had to be like 22-23 because the gold ring came more in 23. He used to wear like a black, like a silicone ring like this before that. And so, yeah. Did any of you email me, and can you find the full clip of it, or at least a more complete clip of that, so we can have more context? But like I said, I'm pretty sure I remember he's not actually talking in reality and like being serious. So yeah. All right, let's continue.
The world will say your life belongs to you. It does not. Your life belongs to Christ. And once you understand that, so many of the questions that the culture bombards you with will be answered. Because when your life belongs to Christ, your purpose is no longer self-fulfillment. It's just not. It's a totally different focus. It's greater. It's more.
You can tell when she kind of ad-libs and like goes off script because it's so painful. It's so unauthentic and it's so bumpy, like right there, like it was one part and she was trying to kind of add a little bit more. But it's just not one of her natural skills. And sorry, that's just a fact. Anyway.
More rewarding. It positions you to be on a path that God meant for you.
Not for Charlie.
And
God meant the path for you, not for Charlie. Is that what you're saying? God meant for you to be on this path, not for Charlie? Yeah.
I've learned is that you don't get to choose the season of life that you're in. You never will be able to. But you do get to choose how you show up for it.
You guys think that she showed up with, class? I don't know. I was going to say style, but that's not what I'm going for. But like, do you think that she showed up as a honest, empathetic, compassionate, forthcoming, authentic and genuine Christian, traditional widow and mother of 2 kids under 4 at the time? I think they're still under 4 though, because they were 3.5 or so, 4 and under. Maybe 4 now exactly and under. Gigi's older. She was 3.5 in September. Not to mention, has she showed up in this stage in her life that honors and respects the legacy of Charlie Kirk? Yeah, the answer is no.
Every single day, when your feet touch the ground, you do get to choose, even if it takes everything in you to just say, God, give me grace. You choose that. And it's important to remember that happiness comes and goes. It is so fleeting, but the joy of the Lord withstands all.
Erika Kirk protects pedophiles! Erika Kirk protects pedophiles!
Okay, I don't know if you guys seen this. We're gonna actually watch this again because now you know what's coming. All right. When I watched this, this was nuts. This was nuts live. I was like, whoa, crazy. Watch Erika's facial response. Watch her someone's initial reaction. That's their true reaction. Okay. That is their go-to reaction and response to something like this. Watch her realize she's on camera. And then her facial expression changes immediately. Watch. Watch.
Erika Kirk protects pedophiles! Erika Kirk
There.
protects
There it was. Okay, we're gonna listen to it. Hold on. Did you guys see that? Please tell me you saw that, right? Like first she's like, and then she like, I don't know what the name of it is, but like her facial expression changed and was looking extremely, I don't know, like aggressive, negative. You guys saw it, right? Like I'm not crazy. You saw it, and then it switched, and she's like, and then she kind of snapped out of it. That stood out to me. Now let's hear what she has to say.
It's important to remember that happiness comes and goes, and I pray that you find it.
That's petty. That is petty. That is a non-Christian response. She did not mean that like genuinely. That is a petty, childish, immature, not a Christian response. And I pray that you find it. And I pray that you find it. I pray that you find it. That is not a Christian response at all. To someone that either has, who knows, like whether we agree with what the young lady is screaming or not, right? But like, let's say from the people in the audience and from Erika Kirk's perspective, this young lady screaming might be emotionally, have a disability or psychologically have disorders, or maybe she's struggling in other areas of her life. But to give a statement like that, I pray that you find it, is just not the Christian thing to do. Not a grown woman thing to do, right? You're the example. This is a very, from their perspective in the audience, inappropriate thing that's happening. This was an opportunity for Erika Kirk to be an example to these young women in the audience on how to respond to a situation like this. And this is how she decided to respond. Okay. And they ate it up. They ate it up. Breaks my heart.
That's an important moment. Love you guys.
So this is what I mean, that I feel so bad for these young Christian women that are there and are so clearly being misled and lied to. They maybe don't even know the context of what that person in the crowd is screaming. Let's talk about it for a second. Do you guys know about Rob McCoy? Do you guys know why there's issues with Rob McCoy? With children and this. Rob McCoy put someone in leadership after they were convicted and went to prison for this. And then this guy gets out. Yes, everyone can be rehabilitated and everyone can be saved. Yes. That doesn't mean you put them in a position in a church where they're around kids. What are you talking about? Okay, God can forgive you. I'm going to shepherd my flock, and you can come on Sundays. And yes, salvation is for everyone, but I don't need to put you on staff. And I sure as heck don't need to do a podcast with you saying that this guy is a new person and that all of the allegations and charges were lies. Go watch it. It's insane. It's insane. Rob McCoy defends a PD filer. Convicted multiple times over with multiple children. It's nuts. Now we have Greg Laurie. She's also partnered with Greg Laurie. Greg Laurie allowed someone to be the head of the orphanage in, I think, Romania. It's somewhere, over there, that was abusing children for decades. So much so that other pastors that had associations with Harvest and that orphanage, or I don't know if it was an orphanage or I forget the term, but I mean, like, they were helping kids that didn't have homes. It's like an orphanage, right? Other pastors became aware of what this dude was doing and asked that an independent organization investigate and determine what's going on. And it did. And Greg Laurie left him there. And Greg Laurie let him be there another 4 to 10 years. I forget the exact amount. 1 day left there longer is too long. It was longer than that. It was 4 or something, 5, 10 years. And was still sending him $17,000 a month, which he was using to commit these crimes. So now we have Greg Laurie. Okay. Then we have her affiliation with Trump. Okay. We know more now about the Jeffy Epi files and Trump, that it looks like for someone that used to say that Bill and Hillary and Bill was doing, like, Trump said Bill did things back in the day, like Trump himself. And now just last year, he was defending him, saying like, oh, nah, Bill's my friend. Like, I feel so bad for Bill and Hillary. I used to give money to them. And, so many good people, so many of my friends are going to be unnecessarily hurt by this file release. And who knows who else, right? And then we have people within TPUSA, whether that be Tyler Boyer, right? And who knows who else who has had allegations of misconduct with younger male staff members of theirs within TPUSA. And she chooses to maintain relationships and affiliations and business relationships with these people. So it's not that far off base. Okay. But these poor young ladies there probably don't know all that. And that's sad. Because there is truth to what that young lady was screaming, and we all know it. And that doesn't even bring into context her inappropriate relationship with that 15-year-old when she was 25.
That's an important moment because that just showed duty to faithfulness gives life meaning. And we must pray for our enemies and those that do not feel like their life has meaning. And that's a perfect example of that. A perfect example. Yeah, you pray for your enemies. You pray for those that persecute you. That's not the enemy. We know who the real enemy is. God bless you. Thank you.
Who's the real enemy, Erika? We know who our real enemy is, right? We wage not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, right? In the spiritual realm, right? With the devil and his demons. Who is your enemy? Who are you talking about? That's what I'd like to know. You didn't say it. You don't say a lot of things. You say things that imply certain things to your audience, and they think they know what we're talking about. I just have this feeling you're talking about something else.
I have one person I listen to. I got you.
Why can't you say it? Who are you talking about? I don't know. Are you saying you listen to Charlie and not God, or God and not Charlie, or not God and not Charlie and someone else? Like, I would want you to be more specific, because so much of what you do is unknown. Like, we don't really know.
But God's mercy for me during this season has been a blessing filled with faithful women who have surrounded me, who have come up alongside me, who have prayed for me, who have prayed with me, who've walked alongside one of the hardest moments.
Like Tracy Martin. Like Tracy Martin. Oh, no. What about Victor Marx's wife? What about that lady? Yeah, what about that lady? Oh, you mean Stacey Sheridan? Okay. Name 3 people who you would never want to be praying for your wife and with and near and close to your wife. Tracy Martin, Stacey Sheridan, and Victor Marx's wife. That's for sure. Some woman that's there saying that her husband can command angels and cast out demons. Come on. That dude is out to lunch. And sadly, that means his wife is too, or she's a prisoner. I don't know, but it's not right. Stacey Sheridan, that's a whole nother bag of worms, man. Not Christian, not married. Not that being not married is a fault to anyone, okay? But in Stacey's case, it's a different story. Okay? And then Tracy Martin, come on. The lady that got on the Graham Allen show and attacked Candace and lied. Come on. All right, we got always be true. They're cooked. No? Yeah, they just confirmed our doubts using an old clip of Charlie to pretend he said, I appoint my wife, as if it's 2025. Yep. Watch them act like that didn't happen. Watch them try to gaslight us and then say, that's not what they said. They never said that. That's not what they said. No, watch them twist this. No. He did say it at Aspen, but that wasn't recorded. That's not what we were talking about, okay? Yes, he said it there, so we were referencing that. But really, he said it back in 2023, and that's what this video is from. But we just never said that to you. Watch them try to distort this and twist this and spin this and lie to us. BLC, Sonia Moore, thank you. You're the best. You guys are all the best. I love this place. Black hearts all the way. I know what they mean now.
Moments of my life pouring into me, reminding me to always look towards God. So again, in all of this, you have a choice as to which path you take in life. You can be a woman of the world, as we just saw, or you can be a woman of the word. That choice.
Are we allowed to ask Erika when she actually became a woman of the word? Right? Outwardly, our life, our choices, our actions should be a reflection of who we are inside, who our master is. Okay? I have another episode we're going to do on Trump, and it's going to be good. Okay? But you can't serve 2 masters. Okay? And it looks like, at least before Charlie, she was worshiping the world. Idolatry, herself, fame, fortune, influence. We know that she locked herself in a room, supposedly. We've been told, I should say. We don't know. No. In a room for 6 or 8 months and read the Bible from cover to cover. We don't know if it was Tracy Martin that was with her or Victor Marx's wife. Somebody supposedly was there 2 different times. How come, even then, we don't actually, I don't know if it's as obvious to you guys as it was to me that she wasn't actually living a Christian, godly, traditional lifestyle, literally until she met Charlie. And that's when this version of Erika was, brought to Charlie and to us. But honestly, if she claims that she was raised Christian, I know cradle Catholic and raised Christian, she's Christian. Yes, we make mistakes. Not at every point in my life are you going to look back and be like, yeah, that dude's Christian. Obviously not. Okay. But for the most part, most of what I always did, you could tell, you can tell. And for Erika, you really can't. It's like she just became a Christian in 2018 when she met Charlie. And so, you know, being a woman of the word is somewhat of a new thing for her.
This is yours. Which path will you choose? I pray she chooses the right one.
That's not serious.
Eternity's long.
That's disgusting. Talking about someone burning in hell for eternity and joking about it. And it's sad that everyone in the audience thought that was funny. That's what she's talking about. Pray that she chooses the right one. Eternity's long. It is not funny. Not funny at all. Someone's eternal salvation and eternal damnation is not a joke and not something to make light of. Look at her grin. How can you say you pray for someone genuinely and want salvation, want them to accept Christ as their Lord and Savior, and in the next breath make a joke about them being in hell for eternity? Not funny.
But there will be a day, 10 to 15 years from now,
Here we go.
when my children will look back on this season of life that us three are going through.
That was weird. That was weird. I'm going to rewind it. You got to keep in mind. So if she's not spending a lot of time with her kids, okay, if someone else is effectively raising them right now, and she is on the road a lot, do you guys know? Let me know in the chat. She's going to be hosting the UFC fight that's at the White House. I think it's on June 14th. I want to pay for the pay-per-view. I don't know if it'll let me. It probably won't. It might. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to do some research if it'll let me show it or not. But if it does, if I'm able to show it, I'd love to do it with you guys on like a live thing. But anyway, oh my gosh, I hate it when that happens. I just lost my train of thought. Okay. My bad. Oh, talking about her kids. And she made, yeah, I'll back it up. Sorry. Watch her pause. So she says her kids and this this stage in their life that they're going through. And then she says, like, the three of us, me and the kids. That's like a weird Freudian slip where she's like separate, but then like adds them in her brain and then adds them in through her words. It's just a weird thing. It just caught me off guard a little bit. Watch.
Life that us three are going through.
That's weird.
And they won't remember it fully because they're so young. But they will see everything. They will see how this world talked about their father, their mother, even themselves. They will be able to read every headline, every accusation, every lie. And my prayer is their focus isn't on all that noise, but rather on how their mother showed up and how she handled it.
So what's weird is she's crying right now. Okay. She's crying when she's talking about herself. Let that sink in. Okay. All of these other moments where she's talking about Charlie. She's at this event without Charlie. Charlie was there last year. It's only been 10 months. The part she gets choked up about is not even the part of their kids. That's not even it. It's when she's talking about everything that she's gone through. She has pity for herself. She's crying for herself. And that stood out to me. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that was that's nuts.
I pray God's wisdom will prevail and they will be able to see the difference in how you can respond to situations that are completely out of your control. I want them to see how you can remain gracious when people are deeply unkind.
You think she was just gracious to that young lady? No. Do you think she's been gracious to other people online? No, me neither.
You can remain composed and prioritize what matters most in the most chaotic situations.
No.
How you can still persevere carrying the cross that God has asked you to carry. And it doesn't turn you bitter. How you can rise above it all when you surrender your life to Christ, knowing the greatest freedom in the world is belonging to God. And knowing that you never have to prove yourself to anybody in this world. Only God.
Gosh, man. It's so fake. Oh my gosh. Not to we're not done. We got a lot to do still, but not to mention it's not even true. When you're running an organization, you actually do have to prove yourself. Okay. Not in the same way that you're proving yourself and your self-worth to yourself and to God. No, but you definitely have to prove to the board. You have to prove to the world that, I mean, at least in my opinion, okay, to deserve and merit staying in that position. But also, when you take over a position that previously was held by kind of one of the best dudes of our generation, and you didn't earn any of that, okay? Erika Kirk didn't earn any of that. She was married to Charlie, and she earns our respect in that regard, and the mother of the children, of his children. And if she would have come out and maintained that was her utmost priority, being his widow and raising the children like Jackie did, right? She took her kids and left the public life. Okay? Jackie Onassis, after JFK was assassinated. And if she would have done that, she would have held tremendous love in all of our hearts and respect for that. But the moment that she decided to take a position of influence where this organization under Charlie's leadership was going somewhere, okay, but now under her leadership is going nowhere, she does have to earn our respect. She has to earn our trust. She does, and she hasn't. And that just shows how out of touch she is.
That's all that matters. So every woman in this room is building something.
Now, here we go, building.
We're all at different points in our life, different seasons, but you're building something. Your habits, your family, your future, your values, your character, you're building that. So again, I'll ask you, what type of woman do you want to be? Whatever you choose, just know that those actions and the action of choosing itself is a deliberate thing. Have more babies than you can afford. It begins with an intention to do right, even at a cost. And over time, it settles into one and forms character, a fixed disposition that radiates through actions. Every choice made for a good reason makes a good mark in your soul. Every choice made for a bad reason makes a bad mark in your soul. And one day, all of this, this life, every win, every loss, the criticism, the heartbreak, the joy, and the sorrow, it'll all be reduced to dust. But what you etched in your soul remains forever. So build a life that can survive eternity. Welcome to the Women's Leadership Summit. We're so grateful. God bless you all.
All right. So today is the kickoff of the event. It's like a 3-day event. There's going to be more videos coming out from the event and other people talking. So we're going to have a lot to watch this weekend. Okay. We're not done though tonight. Let's go here. Let's listen to Jimmy Dore and Tucker Carlson discuss Charlie Kirk. This whole video of Jimmy and Tucker is amazing. Or graphic, but a 30-06 entering in the neck would have either decapitated him or it would have taken it nearly off. And that's not what any of us saw. And the fact that the FBI and the official narrative tries to convince us all of this fact when it just doesn't match up with reality and physics is insane. Okay. And another thing, Tucker Carlson, in my opinion, is a good man. Yes, his dad was in the CIA. Doesn't mean he is. Doesn't mean he's a plant or an FBI informant or whatever. I don't believe that. I don't get that when I watch him. Okay. And I don't get that when I watch Jimmy Dore, and Jimmy Dore's there. Okay. So people that I, respect from what I see and what I know of them. I don't know any of them personally, but, and that both of them I do. And I think Tucker is an honest individual. He's laughing at how that's it. That is the official story. Best summation I've heard. Okay. Couple parts I would have added, but for the most part, best. Okay. And it is so ridiculous that people like Gary Melton and Brendan Tatum and Graham Allen and you name it, even sadly, Megyn Kelly, are pushing this narrative as facts. It is so clearly obvious that they're being told, because they're not stupid. Okay. I mean, maybe Graham does come across a little stupid. Gary, maybe a little bit, but I mean, he was a Green Beret. You can't be that stupid. Okay. You just can't. All right. Definitely Megyn Kelly doesn't come across as stupid. Okay. So then you would have to ask yourself, how could they believe this theory then? Well, paid, bribed, blackmailed, threatened, one of the above, all of the above. I don't know. But that's the only thing that can explain why people that are smart, at least enough, believe this theory. Anyone with a brain knows how stupid it is.
They had the gun sniffing dogs, right? Which they can sniff a gun that was fired a week earlier in the rain, right? They were looking all over. They didn't find it.
Yep.
The FBI shows up a minute later. We got the gun.
Yep.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, you could. Baron Coleman's been doing great work on this.
Hold on, I'll tell you real quick too. So, here's a couple things too. After you fire a weapon, the metal is hot, right? Like the barrel, the different compartments of the inside and taking it apart. Plus, you need more than just a screwdriver. That's what's so stupid. And obviously, he didn't even need a screwdriver because he didn't even have the weapon. Okay. The person that was on the roof didn't have the weapon. But so when the weapon's planted, so this is what happens, right? Here's the timeline. Supposedly someone leaves it, right? Eagle Boy. Local police come and sweep the area. Local police have their dogs sniff and sweep the area. Both turn up nothing. FBI shows up. Third sweep, find nothing. Then the FBI goes over to two local police rookies that between the two of them have less than a year put together on the force. Then they find the weapon. How convenient. Only after the FBI shows up, does their sweep, says there's nothing. How about you take one more look just for good cause? What do you know? Two rookie cops found the weapon that three previous sweeps and dog sniffing or bomb sniffing dogs couldn't find. I'm late, but those are plants in the front, in my opinion. Plants. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. You got to give me more than that. I might agree. I don't know, though. Thank you for your support.
And he got the police transmitter, all that stuff. He got that. That's available.
Yep.
And so it wasn't until the FBI showed up. Oh, well, we got it. No, the local police couldn't find it. And the dog sniffers couldn't find it. They can find it. And they couldn't. But then the FBI showed up and they found it in the exact place. So, and now they won't even release that to the defense team. They're still holding on to it. And then, of course, then he decides to text his lover instead of waiting for him to get home. It's only a 3-hour drive. He's like, you know what? He said, I wanted to take this secret to my grave. First of all, he talks like he's reading he's writing a Jane Austen novel. My love. And then he says, I wanted to take this secret to my grave, but fuck it. I'm just gonna leave it here on a text message to you so the FBI can find it. And so what was supposed to happen was he was supposed to go out in a blaze of glory. Because the original text messages that they said he wrote said, I don't want to go to prison. I'm not going to go out. I don't want to be dragged through the courts. I'm going to go. So he was supposed to get shot, just like in Butler Crooks. He was supposed to get killed. He didn't. He went and turned himself in, which screwed up their plan.
Yep.
And so they had to rewrite those text messages. Did you know that there's text messages 1 and text messages 2.0? So they had to rewrite this. Yeah, that's all. And they said that he confessed on Discord or on a Reddit. And of course, now we know for a fact that he was already in custody when they said that he did that. So what guy shows up, turns himself in, pleads the fifth? I'm not talking to the...
I got to pause it because I can't play it, especially Tucker. Those are the 2 times I've been playing a video too long, and literally YouTube will cut my live. So I got to play it safe. Everything Jimmy Dore is saying is true. At least it's true to the point that we know it is, right? Definitely, I think what Baron Coleman has done, I believe that Tyler Robinson was in custody based on the documents that Baron has shown. That's what it looks like. And was in custody at 6:25 p.m. And there's no way he could have sent the texts unless they hadn't Mirandized him or actually placed him under arrest yet. They could have Mirandized him and still not placed him under arrest yet, right? They could have Mirandized him, put him inside of a interview room with cameras, a table, and chairs, and he could have still had his phone. We don't know because all the footage from when he turned himself in is gone. So, but I think realistically, there's no way he could have sent those messages that he supposedly confessed. I think everything, and none of this has been turned over to the defense yet for them to authenticate and verify that the metadata checks out. They haven't even got his phone. Tyler, the defense hasn't even got Tyler's phone or gotten into it. Yeah, it's all just straight up craziness, man.
Cops until my lawyer gets there. But then he goes on the internet and gives a confession. Okay, so this is obviously a setup, and you're not allowed to ask questions about it. And if you are, you are attacking a grieving widow. And that's again, when did Jackie O ever say, "Quit looking in"? Stop.
Never.
Quit looking into who killed my husband. Never. That's not what happens, and that's not how you grieve. By the way, I remember when my dad died, my mom immediately bought a gold sequin pants outfit, started carrying sparklers around and selling T-shirts. And my friends were like, "Jimmy, what's with your mom?" I'm like, "She's grieving." So I'll just leave that there. And so, Dan Bongino, who famously said, "Don't."
Tucker has never been this quiet before. I'll just say that much. I watch him all the time. I think also, like, he has said, and I think Megan has too, right? At least Tucker said a while ago, right? Like, he loves or cares for Erika Kirk and Charlie's kids a lot. I think he might be nervous that Jimmy took a turn there and started talking about Erika. I guess we'll have to see what Tucker's response is to that statement about the golden sparklers, the gold suit, and selling of merch and money.
ever stop talking about the Epstein files. He gets in a position of power to do something about it. And now he changes his tune to say, oh, I was there to do my job, which is to keep custody of the evidence. No, you weren't there to keep custody of the evidence. You were there to put in custody for the people who were in that evidence, you fucking phony.
Yes.
Anyway, I get upset.
Yep.
You have every reason to.
Yeah.
So we're being lied to on a massive scale. The one guy who was credited with stopping the Iran war the first time, they had to get him out of there. And he had realized that he'd woken up and his organization is a Zionist operation, as it was from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he woke up to that. He was living in a Truman Show, and he orders an investigation, a Doe-style investigation into the accounting, because if you look into it, Wolves of Finance is a YouTube channel who's really explored all this, about all the shady.
Dang. Wolves just got a shout out on Tucker Carlson. Crazy. That's going to blow his channel up. He hasn't done great stuff since then. His best work was on the financial parts of TPUSA. A lot of the other stuff has pretty much missed the mark, but guaranteed he's going to see some increased traffic after this show airs. He did do good stuff on the financial fraud that was inside TPUSA.
Financial stuff that was happening inside TPUSA. So they all had motive to cover that, to not only be a part of it, but to cover it up. And so
I am so happy. Tucker had Jimmy on his show. So much of what Jimmy is saying, I don't think Tucker has ever heard. He didn't hear the other stuff about the rifle, about the text messages, about the custody. Tucker doesn't know some of the specifics, and it makes sense. He's not going to have a lot of time invested in this part of it. That's just not his thing. I mean, I wish he would. He is one of Charlie's, former closest friends. He has a lot of power and influence. Can you imagine if Tucker did a 5-part series in the Charlie Kirk assassination like he did into 9/11? Who knows? Fingers crossed. We can pray. Maybe he will. Maybe after listening to Jimmy Dore. I know that people go to his house and they stay the night before. They eat dinner, they eat breakfast that morning. They spend quite a bit of time together. There's a lot of talking that goes on that's off camera. So my hope is that Jimmy Dore is planting some serious seeds of doubt. Some that already existed in Tucker's mind. Some that are going to be new. Some that are going to be seeds of doubt with Erika Kirk and TPUSA. And I hope so. And I'm so glad he had Jimmy on.
he orders that. He turns down their money.
Yep.
They all lie that he said they're going to kill me. And Candace Owens proves that the text messages were there.
Yep.
And by the way, why does the FBI not have control of his phone? Why would they give it to his? None of it makes sense.
No.
So this is all a big psyop. It's a Zionist organization. He had realized that. He had realized what Zionism was. He realized that Israel was not in our best interest.
Yep.
That they're not our greatest ally, and they had to get. And so they tried everything. They tried, and some reports said they were offering $1 billion to his organization,
Yep.
and he turned it down. And if you can turn that down, there's only one thing left to do,
Yep.
and that's to kill you.
Yep. Yep.
And it's sad. And you're just like Seth Rich, you're not allowed to ask questions. And when you're not allowed to ask, hey, if Candace Owens is crazy nuts, then let her talk. Give her enough rope to hang herself. Keep it going. Just like Brian Harpel did on that CIA guy's podcast. He gave him enough rope to hang himself, and he hung himself several times on that. What a used car salesman that Brian Harpel is.
Yes.
I spent thousands of dollars on. They didn't have drone coverage. He pretends they didn't have drone coverage. Well,
Holy smokes! Did you guys just see Tucker's face? Holy smokes! Hold on. Where is it? Where's your face, Tucker? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh. Hold on.
allowed to ask questions, and when you're not allowed to ask, hey, if Candace Owens is crazy nuts, then let her talk. Give her enough rope to hang herself. Keep it going. Just like Brian Harpel did on that CIA guy's podcast. He gave him enough rope to hang himself, and he hung himself several times on that. What a used car salesman that Brian Harpel is.
Look at that. That's the face of a friend that's hearing some of this for the first time. I don't know why, but that's the face of a friend that's hearing some of this information for the first time. Just look at that. Just let that sink in. Look at that face. Look at that face. Not confused. I don't think it looks confused to me. I think he's hearing things for the first time and he's going, wait, there's so much more stuff that I wasn't aware of. That's how it looks to me.
And thousands of dollars on. They didn't have drone coverage. He pretends they didn't have drone coverage. Well, Frank Turek says they were watching the drone coverage on their own phones as they pulled up to the event. So they're lying back and forth all over the place. They didn't have security watching the roof. They don't have security watching the roof. Well, the local police were supposed to take care of that. Okay, get that. Okay. So it's a setup. It's a lie. And just like Seth Rich and Charlie said, just like we learned during COVID, keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free. And now they've completely flipped his message. Stop. Just stop. Stop asking questions. That was his whole MO. That was his whole
Oh, Dulcinea, thank you. The super chat that meant the girls in the audience at the conference were plants. Yeah, so a lot of them are, I think. I think a lot of them are. I think some of them aren't, though, you know.
That was the reason for his raison d'etre, was ask questions.
Exactly.
And now you're not supposed to. And I tell people, you see these social media and
he just agreed. Doesn't look like that's confusion to me. Okay. He just agreed with Jimmy. Exactly. He's tracking. He's tracking what Jimmy is saying.
influencers out there telling you that Candace is evil or demonic and stop. It happened exactly the way Kash Patel said it did. If anybody's telling you that, they are corrupted on the take and they're your enemy, and do not listen to them, because those people are not there to help you or to help bring you information. They're there to propagandize you and keep you shut up and compliant.
The great Jimmy Dore. Wow, you just wound me up.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to walk around.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, it's great.
wow. All right, let's continue. I think it's this one. Wait, hold on. Why doesn't it show it? Hold on. I got another video we're going to look at. Give me a second. Okay, let me hit pause and then I'll share the screen. All right. Make sure that the stream didn't get interrupted. Share the screen. Here we go. Crystal Smolin. Interesting Blakey. Let me make sure it's on the screen. It is. This is Blake Neff. Let's listen to his take. Okay.
The thing about the Kennedy assassination is it always gets too weird. Like, they can never just fixate on the stuff that's actually weird, like with the known things. So, okay, why is Oswald, this guy, like popping off, and then why is he murdered right after? That's clearly the absolutely extreme, insane thing with the Kennedy assassination, is that the guy who shot him was immediately murdered by a guy. But everyone has to come up with like this grassy knoll stuff. Oh, there was a second shooter. Oswald was just a patsy. No, guys, like, clearly this guy shot Kennedy and then someone else had him taken out. And that's extremely strange and points towards someone knowing something. That said, most CIA conspiracies don't do it for me, because the CIA, if you know anything in their history, is basically stupid and incompetent, and they screw everything up. And all public records of the CIA are just them perpetually being huge idiots and goofing things up. And they're also weird paranoiacs. Like, they think they're getting shot at by Russian laser beams that make them sick right now, and they're probably just drinking too much. The thing about...
Okay, so literally everything he just said is almost verifiably stupid and nuts. Okay. There's a thing called Havana syndrome. Look it up. There are weapons, right? Directed energy weapons that can cause sickness, can cause massive migraines. They had back in the 60s a heart attack gun, the CIA. Okay. They have weapons and technology that they use that almost looks like magic. Okay. Number one, CIA is not incompetent and stupid. Number two, he hasn't either done any due diligence onto the JFK assassination, or he's knowingly, purposefully misleading and lying to his audience. Okay. I've done extreme deep dives. Okay. on the grassy, and I've been there. I can show you guys videos, right? I was there on one of the anniversaries in 2023, and I've been there. I've been inside the book depository building. It's a little different than what it was back then, but there was a fence. The whole term, the man on the grassy knoll. So if we were to look at the Dealey Plaza, right, the street going down towards the bridge, there's this grassy knoll where like Zapruder was, the famous Zapruder film. And then there's this grassy knoll and there's a fence. There's a guy with an umbrella over there, but there's also someone behind the fence. People's eyewitness accounts on that day saw and heard, right, a gunshot and a puff of smoke, like a muzzle blast and a weapon being fired. Also, if you were to just look at the footage, which is doctored, by the way, all the footage that we've seen from the JFK assassination is not genuine and authentic, even Zapruder. There's been frames taken out on purpose, okay? But JFK's head is hit from this way and goes back to the left. Okay. And then you see the back part of his brain head kind of explode out, right? Because entry wound is typically smaller than exit wound, right? And so much so that parts of his skull and brain fly back onto the back of the limousine. That's what Jackie Kennedy at the time, was trying to grab. She was trying to grab pieces of her husband that had blown off and were on the back of the trunk. Okay. Not to mention all of the other, and that's so all of the components that make the Charlie Kirk assassination suspicious are the same with Lee Harvey Oswald, right? So he couldn't even, they had the number one like sharpshooter go up there, right, and try to get off 3 shots with the same rifle in the time frame that he supposedly took those 3 shots, because they're saying lone gunman took all 3 shots, Lee Harvey Oswald, and the best in the world couldn't do it, okay? Let alone this Marine. Yeah, anyway, right? Not to mention the rifle that they hold up at the police station isn't the rifle that Lee Harvey actually had. And you would have to go back and look at the rifle that Lee Harvey was holding up when he's in front of his apartment and he's holding up a newspaper. And there's issues with that photo as well. That photo has been messed with as well. All right. Then you have issues with what bullet struck Governor Connolly, right? What happened to the other bullet that either entered JFK's back and came out his throat, or entered the throat and came out the back, right? He was sent into like a firing squad. There were multiple shooters from multiple angles with multiple different calibers and styles of weapons, okay? There might have been someone up, and it might have been Lee Harvey that took a shot, okay, that was maybe up there. It might have not even been him, okay? For a fact, Lee Harvey Oswald is not the person that took all 3 shots and took the shot that ultimately ended JFK's life. The person that did that was the man on the grassy knoll behind the fence, okay? Just look up trajectory and bullets and ballistics and just go watch the footage of what happens to JFK's head when it all goes down, okay? And then, so everything he's saying here is so fascinating. It's almost like he knew. He knew, you know, don't believe conspiracies. They're too outlandish. They're too crazy. Don't believe that your government and the CIA are capable and, you know, it's the other C word, when you're competent, able to carry off some of the most amazing things in our lifetime. Jack Ruby, right, had ties to the mob. All right. Many people wanted JFK dead. Many. Okay. The government, the mob, the mafia, Israel, similar to Charlie Kirk. Okay. They all had a common interest. They all needed him gone. Okay. And they all worked together to ensure that that happened. There's so much more evidence out there that Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy than he actually was any shooter that day at all. Okay. Nothing has ever been fully like admitted or released by the government, but enough people have investigated this since that day that we know almost for a fact, okay, almost for a fact, that Philly, our government, and, the portions of the crime, syndicates, whether that be the Jewish mob and the Italian mafia, all had parts in the JFK assassination. And similarly, sadly, I think it'll end up being the same with Charlie Kirk. They're never going to admit who was involved, because who was involved are so connected and powerful, it's unreal. Keep this in mind, okay? The real ultimate, the highest person that JFK and Charlie Kirk both were threatening were the Rothschilds. And I'll tell you right now, the Rothschilds are the family that paid for and funded for Philly to become a country and paid for Palestine from the British government. Okay. Right. Go look at the Balfour Declaration and everything. Right. When JFK was going to make them register as a foreign agent. Okay. And was going to make sure that they did not develop a nuclear weapon. Okay. That was going to directly hinder what Philly was going to do in the Middle East and threaten and be this local power to, take advantage of the other Arab countries in its region. Okay. And the people that had the most to lose, the highest individual family and people that had the most to lose from that is the Rothschilds. Similarly, when Charlie Kirk was going max on Jeffy Epi and talking about the emails and the files and who was really connected and implicated in these files, the highest individual and family is the Rothschilds, Nathaniel Rothschild. And it just so happens that Charlie Kirk and JFK both threatened that family and many others. But when that family decides that someone's got to go, they own the politicians. They own the countries. If that family, those individuals say that person's got to go, they own Philly, literally and metaphorically. They own Philly and everyone that's in Philly. Okay. And we know that they own our politicians. You've seen the pictures with Gavin Newsom and JD Vance. It's unreal. All right, let's go. I don't know. Is it this one or is this the one that I just did? Okay, that's the one I just did. So it's the top one. Hold on. Pause. I don't know. I don't want to show Blake just being, a stooge. I'll show this. Let's go here. Okay. Trigger warning to family members with, if you're playing it on your screen and there's people around, now would be the time to turn the volume down or maybe tell the kids to leave the room. It's going to be the Andrew Tate interview. And it's only going to be a couple minutes, but he does drop the F-bomb a couple times. Okay. So I'm just giving you forewarning. Let's see, 39. Am I at it? I am.
So he did good, but they canceled me and I came back. I invented coming back from cancellation. I was the first motherfucker to ever get canceled and get bigger. First one. Nick got canceled, didn't get bigger. He disappeared for a long time. I got canceled and got.
So they're talking about Nick Fuentes, and he's talking about himself, and then it leads into Charlie Kirk. Okay,
bigger, realest nigger alive. I invented that. Second, they try and put you in jail. Third, they kill you. The problem that Nick has, and I actually really like Nick, is that if his taxes are in order and he ain't touching women, they haven't got much they can get him with on stage 2.
They're talking about the 3 different ways you can manipulate, control, or threaten someone. You can do it through, and we've talked about this here. You can blackmail, bribe, threaten, or the final card, you take them out. Okay, you take them out. And they're saying with someone that, for Nick's case, they're saying he's he's not interested in women, and so there's not that. But I mean, if he's not interested in women, they could get compromised on him in other ways. Then with who he is interested in, But he's saying that for whatever reason that doesn't exist for Nick Fuentes. That also wouldn't exist for Charlie, because Charlie was a good Christian man and was married, and I think he was. Why can't I think of certain words? It's crazy. He was. He didn't, fool around on Erika. All right. Man, I can't think of the word. He didn't have any, in my opinion, that we know of, and I think it probably would have came out by now, any improprieties in his financials. And so the ultimate thing that you can do then is just take the person out.
And that doesn't mean they let you off. That means they skip stage 2 and they just kill you. Let's talk about Charlie Kirk. Why did they not just put him in jail? Because no one's going to believe Trump's DOJ prosecuting Charlie Kirk. Doesn't make sense. He's Trump's friend. Why would the Department of Justice try and prosecute Charlie Kirk? He's squeaky clean. Taxes paid. He's not like me. I made it easy for them. He's fucked 1,000 women. Call him up. Get him. Right? He ain't fucked 1,000 bitches. He ain't running around fucking with all these girlfriends like me. They went through his life. How are we going to get him in jail? How are we going to get him in jail? How are we going to get him in jail? You know what? There's literally nothing here. Next. Bang. I'm lucky with me. I gave them the layup.
Hold on. And then he talks about himself for a minute. Let me get past this part, because he just talks about himself and everything he did, and then the money. 2 million pounds of my money for tax evasion too. So they got me for that. They get me for this. So it's like, just fucking get him. And I just keep giving it to him, laying it up. I'm a dumbass. So, but it saved me, or I would be dead. Nick's problem, and I really care about Nick, is that it's almost like, I have lots of businesses and I have a restaurant. Perfectly right. Even in one of her episodes, if she describes it perfect, we're just going to convince everyone she's nuts, because she's a black chick, and we can convince people that she's just. Where's the other part? Oh my goodness, that wasn't it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to find it. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I can show it next time. That wasn't it. That was such a small part. Yeah. All right. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to, and I really just don't want to put everyone through a bunch of N-words and F-bombs and mother F-bombs and all that. If I can find a way I can like bleep out the negative words, and we can watch it in more of a fuller context in a later show. Let's see. Let me pull up some Charlie Kirk clips. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe. They just posted Sarah Huckabee Sanders' full speech at the WSL. Let's see. Alex Clark full speech at the WSL 1 hour ago. I'll have to watch those and see what nuggets I can pull out for tomorrow's show. Let me get the clip of Charlie. Here we go. Pause. Stop it. This is where we left off the other day on this clip. Let me go to the next student, though. Or does he stay with the student the whole time? All right, let's just listen to Charlie.
Plumber after 18 months, $68,000 a year.
Well,
the
sure,
average
but the
welder,
plumber,
72.
Also, mods, if you guys have any good clips of Charlie that we haven't watched yet, please email them to me.
$1,000 a year
with peers.
The plumber didn't go to college. The plumber went to trade or technical school. There's 11 million job openings that do not require a college degree in this country.
Well, who
11
engineered
million.
the stuff plumbers use?
I'm sorry, what?
Who engineered the stuff plumbers use?
I'm sure someone here. I mean, that it's like
someone with a degree.
It's like saying who
from
designed
college.
the airplane for the pilot to fly. I mean,
someone with a degree that went to college. Pilots go to college.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying you get rid of all places of higher learning. The way it's currently comprised for you guys, the amount of debt you have to go into, the classes
you
that
say
you have to
don't
take.
get rid of places of higher learning, but then you go on to
you're
say
interrupting me
college
every
is a
15
scam.
seconds. You're not debating in good faith because it is a scam. So let me ask you a question. Can you point to other things of American life the last 100 years that have been scams? For example, when they run an advertisement, they say, buy these pills because, you know, we're going to make you super muscular. And they don't have all the fine print that it might not work and you have to have a monthly subscription. We shut down that business for being
That's
a
a little
scam.
different, though. That's a
How is it
product.
different? Hold on a second. When you show up to college, did they tell you you have to take all these classes that you didn't sign up for? Did they? Oh, it said that you're going to have to take all these different classes. Did they tell you that half of you guys would not ever use your degree when you go into your career? How many of you guys knew that? You guys knew that when you signed up?
Well, college is what you make of it, right?
You guys are willingly participating in the scam. Good for you. The point is this, is that most kids know deep down they're getting ripped off. The number one thing I hear from people across the country in corporate America, boy, college is a waste of time. Boy, I wish I never would have gone. Now I have $60,000 in debt, $70,000 in debt. I wanted to start a business, but now I don't have the credit to do it. Instead, we are wasting our most prized possession, our 18 to 22-year-olds, to go stick them at many universities when they shouldn't be here in the first place. And it is a failed project. It is making us poorer. It is and by the way, just look at the actual numbers over a period of time.
Yeah, and think though, you know, these poor kids that are there with not a huge amount of life experience, and they're in the system, right? And their identity is tied to the degree in which they're paying lots of money and sacrificing lots of time and energy. They're gonna defend it. They're not even on the other side yet to know whether some of the things Charlie's saying is true. I can tell you they are, you know, and Charlie's balanced. He's not saying to get rid of all, you know, places of higher learning, but so many jobs, so many careers, and so many professions, you don't even need a master's degree or a bachelor's degree for. And when you do get certain bachelor's degrees, it doesn't make you more employable, you know? So yeah, nobody will ever replace Charlie, hands down.
Has it worked? Is homeownership now going up for young college graduates?
Well, how are we going to blame that on college, though?
There's
a lot of different reasons that people are not able to buy homes.
It's the most equally applicable thing across the board for a generation.
So.
And if you look at the average, how much debt do you have to go to school, by the way?
None.
None? Okay, wow. Are you on scholarship or?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's paying for your college then?
Probably the federal government.
Okay, so I'm paying for your college is what you're saying. My taxes are paying for your college. So wait, do you have you're on grant or what?
I'm not going to discuss my college finances.
Well, no, this is really important.
He just had a moment and he's like, oh, snap. Oh, snap. I'm not going to say this because it's going to be obvious that y'all are paying for me to be in college.
This is why you're so defensive of college.
Yep.
This is why you're so forceful, because you don't have to walk around the rest of your life with $100,000 student loan debt.
I know plenty of people that have part-time jobs and go to college.
This explains you perfectly. I, the taxpayer, when I write my check to the IRS, I'm subsidizing your ability to go to college.
Okay. When I write my check to the IRS, I also give money for people to go to college.
You should have skin in the game. You should, and you don't right now. You are doing a freeloading thing. Of course, you should be defensive of college.
I pay taxes. I pay federal taxes. I pay state taxes.
I'm sure I pay a little bit more than you. But
yeah, age and income and all of that would dictate that for sure. Charlie's paid more taxes than this young kid. You know, I mean, and it's not his fault. There should be scholarships and grants and things like that. But at the same time, it does make sense and give context to why this kid's taking the positions that he is.
That's a separate issue. But the point is this, is
That's
that
probably true.
Do you think you pay anywhere close to the tuition value you get at the school? Probably not.
Yeah, probably I do. It's like $5,000 a semester. It's a lot of money, but you get a lot out of that.
Wait, hold on. How much is it to go to school here?
It's around $5,000.
So in-state?
In-state, yeah.
Okay, did that include room and board and tuition?
No.
Okay, how much does that cost?
Room, board, tuition, all of it's around $11,000.
$11,000 a semester. So you pay $22,000 a year in taxes?
No.
Okay, got it. So you're in a tax deficit, which means the U.S. taxpayer is subsidizing your education. Yeah. That's fine. I'm not faulting you for it, but this is why you're so defensive, is you're detached from the price. You're detached from the cost. Yeah. It's easy to be defensive of something you're not paying for.
Hi.
Yep, 100%.
Can you speak about how liberals...
Gosh, man, I love Charlie. Man.
Control Black Americans' mind and how Black people are their worst enemy and about staying in the victim mentality?
Yeah, the victim mentality is a curse, and when you
when you're around long enough, you realize it's not just liberals that are selling that victim mentality. It's, the left and the right when it's expedient for them to further a certain cause. But I think liberals are more guilty of it, particularly not liberals, the left, the far left, lives in victim houses. Here's the truth. If you believe in your own victimhood, you will become your own oppressor.
Yep.
If you believe, woe is me, I can't get ahead, you will be shocked at the power of your own words
Yep.
and the power of your own mentality.
Yep.
Like I said at the beginning of this, psychology is key. And if they insert in your psychology that you can't, I can guarantee you 100% that you most certainly will not.
Yep.
Right? And if you reverse that psychology and you say, I can guarantee to you that you will. And
that is so powerful, dude. That is such a powerful statement for so many of us, but particularly to the, African-American community that she's speaking to, right? And that the crazy left trying to sell people on their own, prison of their own design.
it is the most harmful. It is a death sentence on your life to just believe that you are nothing but a victim. It turns you into a whiny, angry, upset, can do nothing individual that nobody wants to be around. And that's why I say victimhood is a curse, and to believe in your own victorship is a blessing.
Sorry, I have another one. Also, what would you say to the Black Americans that claim America is so racist, but yet they're killing their own people?
The first thing that I would say to them is to get educated. Genuinely, just start somewhere. Listen to someone who you hate, like me, for like one episode. I'm always like, just give me one episode, please. Pick up a Thomas Sowell book. Explore the other idea, because it is just such a lie, and it is such a nonsense, and it isn't just Black Americans, it is all Americans. Like they've extended it from Black Americans to all of these other victim groups that we're talking about.
Great. Allie Beth Stuckey, Alex Clark. These are the women that I told you we need alternatives, you guys. All of the women that they're putting up on their stages at these events that claim to be Christian women, that are supposedly role models for young women and, youngish women to listen to and to look up to, just aren't. They're just not. We need people like my wife, people like a lot of you, to be the people that are, influencing and affecting and speaking to this and the next generation of young men and women. Whether you're a man, do it. If you're a woman, do it for them, But the people that they're toting out there as someone to look up to and listen to, they're just not. It must be on a timer, and I don't know why. I didn't hit the blinker. It's going to take me a while to get the mode right, so I'm going to leave it off. I'll have to play with that next time. That's frustrating. Wait, I think I know what to do. Okay, maybe not. I thought I knew what to do. Let's see. Nope. It's just going to blink. That's going to drive us all nuts. All right. Anyway. All right. Any last thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? We got to all of the super chats. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like and the subscribe. We had quite a good turnout tonight. Super proud of all of you for being here and showing this community and one another support. And stay tuned. This weekend will be a good weekend full of content that you won't want to miss. If you want to support and donate to this channel, you can do so here at the Venmo for the Black Line Brief. Just scan the QR code, or you can do it here at buymeacoffee.com/the Black Line Brief. Make sure when you do so, you just put what you would like your money to go to, and we make sure that it does. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Wait, where to go? Where to go? Then check out Erika Kirk bringing on Nicki Minaj for the young women. I hope not. Hopefully they learned their lesson. That didn't go well. Calling JD Vance an assassin. The assassin JD Vance. What was that about, right? Nina, I actually went to the Young Women's Leadership Summit in both 22 and 25, both years. When it was Erika's turn to speak, I stayed in the room for about 4 minutes and then left to take a restroom break during her speeches. So Nina, you could even speak to this, right? That like even a lot of the young women that went to the event, like you wanted to hear Charlie speak, right? Like, were you there for Charlie to speak? You wanted to hear Charlie speak, right? She's always been boring, off-putting, and void of value in her speeches. Just repetitive cliches. Yeah, and just like Christian, statements that are regurgitated endlessly, Let's see. Yep, nearly 200 in the chat. Not bad, y'all. But we had 158 likes. We could do better. If some of you just hit the like for me, that'd be great. It is the best way to support the channel. And those of you that could do so, especially, I don't know, something's going on with the algorithm right now, whether they made a change or who knows, dude. It's hard to know what's happening, but a lot of the videos just aren't doing what they used to do for whatever reason. I'm not trying to conclude any kind of, malintent or whatever, but what does help the channel the videos get pushed is if you guys show up later. You don't have to do it right now, but at some point you show up once the video is posted and you just write a comment like, great video, great show, keep up the great work, love you, whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you what to say. But that helps the algorithm and it helps get the video out there. All right. Which helps the channel. All right. Isn't life amazing like that? And it sounds like Matt's finishing. I'm at the start, but thank you, Matt. Yeah. Thank you. Random member. I like that name. Random member. I am finishing. This is true. Erika is sus, says Jim Bear. Yes, Erika is sus. Let's see. Born to be Wild. 1776 TNT. All right, you guys. Oh, Mystic, what up? I don't know. Have you been here the whole time? Shows you I wasn't looking at the chat. I can't. If I spend too much attention on the chat, it distracts me from my ADHD brain and what I'm doing, and then we'll never go anywhere. My wife was like, don't go on too many tangents tonight, Matt. I'm like, I can't make any promises. I'll try, but this is just how my brain works. Hopefully we're down for the ride. But all right. God bless you guys. You guys are the best. Love you all. Thank you all for all your love and support. Have a great night. God bless. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.